Oh, hello. This is a little show called Marketer in the Middle. We appreciate you clicking over to it.
Yep, just a little show from Valverde and Styles. And we're excited to have a conversation today with Kevin O'Malley.
You've heard of a little company called SalesLoft. Well, Kevin O'Malley is a big fish in that pond, so we wanted to get him in the middle.
I recently went over to his office to see all the amazing things that he's doing. He's going to tell us a little bit about it today. So hopefully you'll stay tuned and have a listen.
Welcome to our fun little table.
Yeah, it's a beautiful table.
Yeah.
It's nice to be in the middle.
Yeah, there you are.
This whole sales and marketing coming together thing, is it? Is it really? I mean,
yeah.
Does each know what they want from the other now, and have they communicated that fully?
You know, I'd like to say yes, but then that wouldn't be fun, you know? No, I mean, certainly a topic that we at SalesLoft talk a lot about. We get a lot of questions about because it is quite relevant for marketing and sales to figure out how to align, as most people refer to it as. You know, for SalesLoft, it's interesting because we're a fast-growing SaaS-based company, adding a lot of people and a lot of different functions and growing revenue really fast, adding a lot of customers, and so the pace of the growth adds another level of complexity to that alignment, because you're sort of relearning the business every few months, and so the alignment is constantly being challenged, but there's something fundamental that is based on that alignment, which is trust. And we talk a lot about the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and the foundation of any high-performing team is trust. And if we remind ourselves of how to continue to invest in that trust, the business and the results come afterwards. And so for us, we have alignment because we have trust.
So are you positioning yourself in a leadership role in forwarding that conversation and the education? Because like you said, it's always evolving, it's always changing, it's an always re-education play.
Sure, yeah, and it starts certainly from the top of our CEO, who certainly reiterates the importance of building trust in teams, and so that it starts with him, and then ultimately the leaders of the groups, myself of marketing and Derek Grant on the sales side. When you think about marketing and sales alignment, it's not about Derek and I being aligned. It's about allowing the sales reps and other marketers, the demand gen team, the content team, the video team, everyone that's sort of focused on the customer to come together and build that cohesive group. And so what we try to do is sort of stand at the edge of the bed and help the team become better and build the trust between each other.
Sure. Do you let them form their own sort of groups and teams within that, where they, I know you've got probably, everybody comes together in large scale, but then you have like little teams that have just naturally formed? Have you helped form them?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think the account-based organization concept sort of allows for that to happen under a unified front. But within the groups, we align through, so for marketing, we have marketing programs that's thinking about how do I help sales engage with selected accounts. And then the sales development team is certainly focused on finding new targets and setting appointments for sales. So they're organized in their structure. And then obviously you got the closers that are receiving the opportunities and working to close. And marketing is their cover throughout and trying to make sure we give them everything they need.
As you go down the funnel, when you think about like how marketing, I mean, for the longest time, or for a period of time anyway, marketing was so lead gen focused, right? They throw it over the transom and sales would take over. But it seems like, now we're seeing marketing engage much deeper in the funnel and be able to produce content really even into the full acquisition stage.
Absolutely.
And
beyond.
Yeah, and beyond, right? I mean, obviously, how is that working in your organization?
I think from the beginning, marketing has to be focused on generating opportunities for sales. I mean, that's sort of the entrance fee, right? If you're not generating opportunities for sales, then they're not going to ask you to the closing table to help.
Exactly.
So there's sort of a permission there, right? So you really, as a marketer, have to make sure that you've got the one piece that really the one that you can control nailed down, and once you have that, then either adding people that are focused on different buying cycles or different buying stages, having them dedicated at different stages is certainly an approach. But also, really getting further into the cycle with their rep and understanding the different touch points that they have with their sales process, and then inserting where marketing can add value. Like you said, whether it be content and videos and different ways to help them over the finish line.
So when it comes to content, thinking about content and ABM organizations and marketing automation, what are those systems getting wrong about content? Like, does sales know what content they wish marketing would be making, and are they communicating that?
I wish it was that easy, right? That would make my life like, I need exactly this piece of content to address this problem or this persona.
But they're the ones hearing the questions from the prospect, and
Absolutely.
so they would know what video is needed to answer the frequently asked issues.
Yeah, and if you ask a rep what kind of content they want, it's usually the piece of content that would have helped them close the last deal, not the next deal.
Not the next deal.
Right? And so it's getting ahead of that and figuring out what you can do to align the problems that the questions or the touch points that they're going to have to content that would be helpful. So, for example, video is a huge part of our marketing channels that we help our reps with, and so it's helping them film personalized videos after the initial demo. So they'll jump in our studio, film a quick video to speak to their buyer, and then that gets shared along. And it's interesting to see what happens to that video after you send it. Well, it gets forwarded on because it's a unique format.
Sure.
Right now, it's unique, right? Now that we've said it here, everyone's going to do it. So I better do more
give that
videos
away.
fast. That's right.
You don't have your hologram VR salespeople going out yet?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'll have to figure that one out. So it's really getting close to them and understanding the problem they're trying to solve, and then helping map the right piece of content that'll make it a unique experience for our buyers.
Right. They've really got to somehow look at what's the obstacle that they've got to cross with that particular prospect, and then it takes a marketer, a storyteller, to say, well, here's really the issue that you need to be addressing. It's not just how am I going to get this customer to do what I want them to do. It's what does the customer actually want? What is their concern? What is what is the thing that's holding them back? And how do we address those issues?
I think the driver of that is this, on the personalized content side. It's not for the people that are in the calls, the sales calls. Sure. It's the people that weren't in the calls.
Right.
So with today's buyer, there's usually a committee behind it.
Sure.
And so if you can equip your buyer, the person that you just had a conversation with the information that you just shared them in a more engaging format, they will more likely to forward that on to influencers and people that can help.
And you don't risk things getting lost horribly in translation
That's
by
right.
your internal advocate.
That's an excellent point. Yeah. And imagine the engagement off of that. So on a great email, you'll get an 8% response rate. On a highly sincere, personalized video, you're talking about a 24 to 30% response rate.
Wow.
It's worth the investment, right?
Heck yeah.
And so that's one. Check that box, right?
Right.
That's one reason to do it. The other one is on the closing side, and I, from being able to isolate it just to the video is so hard because it's the butterfly effect. You don't know what all the reasons why you won, but you won.
So as you started to move into that, and I know you've brought a very more sophisticated marketing organization than most people will ever see.
Yeah.
But as you started to move into that, did you see a significant uptake?
Yeah.
Okay.
They say the new ROI of anything you buy is adoption, right? And so adoption is the new ROI, and so engagement in that sense is the new ROI. If you're producing content that's being consumed, it's pretty safe bet that it's having an influence.
Right.
So as long as the quality is there, and the medium is getting used, then it should help you overall.
Well, it tells me that when the game is trust building and relationship building, that video tends to lend a bigger hand than just the written word, even when it is personalized.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like that engagement is a reflection of, being able to communicate as a person to the viewer.
So when you think about some of the tactics that you guys have employed, and it seems like you've got a whole big bag of tricks there. Which tactic has that you've employed surprised you the most, whether it be good or bad? Maybe one of each.
Yeah. I'd like to say I've got way more good than bad, right? So where do I start? Right. So I think this year we made the shift to account-based. And leading up to that, account-based was sort of this term that that a lot of people were using and never really understood what it meant. And so when we shifted over to account-based, it starts challenging your views of marketing. So it starts to break down every channel and go, what does account-based mean to social? What does account-based mean to writing blogs and campaigns? And so since the beginning of the year, we've done several campaigns or different types of programs. So some of the good ones have been targeted ads. Once you know who you're targeting, the targeted ads have definitely been a great way to sort of broaden your reach and be able to reach targeted accounts. The one that's been challenging has been account-based on social, using social media. How do you engage a target account or maybe a targeted person on social media? That's been difficult.
So when you look at the whole marketing ecosystem, what is your highest frustration where content is concerned? I mean, we like to think, or we don't like to think, we believe that 80% of problems and limitations in just about any organization are communications problems.
Right.
And today content is communication. So where's the biggest bump in the road that you see?
For me, the biggest bump in the road is when you're working for and with a high growth company or in an industry that's growing very fast. I think one of the challenges or frustrations is how do you grow your people faster than the industry or the company that you're in? And as a marketer, how do you get a content marketer to be 2 times better than they were the year before? And constantly investing in them and in their skills and their capabilities and making sure that they have everything they need to be better than they were the day before. Just as the business or the industry is growing that fast, the personal growth is something that we need to continue to remind ourselves.
When you look out, put on your prognosticator's hat, when you look out into the future, where do you think marketing automation, this whole idea of, the robots running the system, and how far can it go? Or are we starting to see, the sort of limits of that?
Yeah.
How far does that go when it comes to truly, moving the buyer along?
Yeah, we're certainly very interested in that area and are constantly researching, and we're using predictive in our business, and it's certainly already a part, and it's not going to go away. And the way we sort of see it is there's sort of this idea of sincerity and science, and if we can figure out what the science of sincerity is and build a product for that, I think that's really what people are looking for. They're not looking for a robot to take over the interaction, but what they want to understand is what could they do better to be more sincere, to be more valuable to their customers. And if AI can do that, if robots can do that, or a machine, whatever you want to call it, can help you learn about how you can be more sincere and to add value and to eliminate waste that that content is not going to be used, then don't build it, right? And if you can have machines or technology to help you figure that out, I think everybody benefits from that. And so it's really figuring out the science of sincerity is I think the future.
That's terrific. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Well, Kevin, we certainly appreciate you being here.
I appreciate being in the middle.
Thank you, guys.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, that's another episode of Marketer in the Middle in the Can, but we want to get you guys in the habit of watching it, right?
Do us a favor, go to marketerinthemiddle.com, click on subscribe, and we'll let you know when the next one's coming up.
And that's also the place where you can leave comments. Maybe you agreed with some of what Kevin said, maybe you didn't agree. Either way, we want to hear from you. We want you to be a part of the show in that way, and that's where you do it.
Yep, marketerinthemiddle.com. We'll see you there.
For some reason, I want a banana.